Are you getting tired of staring at the same background all the time? Oh, this Victorian wallpaper in my cramped apartment studio with all the random stuff standing around and video lights. Or is it the other background, the fake forest background, which is actually a shower curtain from Walmart. Professional shit. Low budget one-man show getting a little boring, is that it? We're gonna go for a little walk, you and I. There we are. Now when I'm done with you, you'll be hopefully in the better mood and more relaxed. So on a recent community post that I made, a few people brought something up. They gave me some important feedback. Several people said that things felt like they were starting to get a little stale, in terms of videos, like new ideas are needed, and several people said they haven't watched in a while, things like that. And that's really important. That's the kind of thing that I need to take to heart. There's only so many ways in which you can cut a tatami mat. Only so many ways in which you can stand in front of a background, showing a sword, talking about it, things like that. Now, I generally like to mix things up and do things a little different here and there. However, since the adpocalypse and aforementioned algorithm changes and stuff, I've been trying to kind of streamline things a little bit more. I used to have a more diverse channel where I talk about all kinds of things, including, oh no, politics occasionally, which nowadays you can't do anymore because people just lose their shit. For a while I tried to stick to just the overall theme, historical arms and armor and martial arts and fantasy games, reviews and knives, etc., that sort of thing. But there are people who say that they miss the personal kind of stuff, like what I'm doing right now here. Basically mid to late 2018 in particular, I just tried to do it all. I just tried to, keep up to date and keep on top of all the messages and interact with people and upload every other day. That was my schedule, along with training to improve myself and all of that. And it just got to a point where I basically burned out. And I had no ideas, no motivation. Things came to a screeching halt. I don't know how much you noticed that. Some people certainly did, that there was a dip in video quality for a while and ideas, and I have to be a little more stingy with my time, you could almost say. Look at the pretty flowers, aren't they gorgeous? Yes, pretty flowers on a manly sword and knife channel. We can do this, we don't give a shit around here. Where was I? There have been two main limiting factors recently. Again, this is just for your information, this is not bitching. One is the shoulder injury, not the right shoulder, not the one that I got from getting hit by a car. It's stupid lefty over here. Still not entirely sure how that happened. It just kind of developed gradually over time when lifting, probably incorrectly. There might have been some kind of pre-existing joint instability or who knows what. And basically this has been going on for 8 months, and I don't know why it's dragging on for so long. I know part of it. Part of it is being impatient and trying to jump back into things, because I do feel the pressure, of course, to perform physically, at least to an extent. I never claimed to be an athlete or a high-level martial artist, anything like that. But what I do is largely physical, so I need to at least be mostly physically functional, being able to swing swords and stuff. So I just try to get back into it as soon as possible and go back to the gym to try to get stronger and all that. And I kept re-aggravating it over and over and over again. And at this point, I'm not sure what it is. I go to physiotherapy regularly, and the therapist checked how the joint moves and such, and it seems okay in that regard. It's just that I have limited range of motion, and certain movements will just send a massive cramp in there. And like this, for example, was actually caught on video recently. You can cut with a long blade and then... Oh, that was not good. Don't mind me, just a cramp. Hell of a cramp. You know, it's kind of funny to see that from the outside. It didn't feel funny at the time, but it kind of is funny to see that, like, oh, what a pussy. It's just collapsing from the pain. Oh, pathetic. Back in Vietnam. But what can I say? It is pretty debilitating pain. Working on it. I'm still in the process of figuring out what I can even do. But I mean, there's always something. Like, for example, lately at Blood and Iron, instead of training at high intensity, I've done more teaching. Ran a couple of classes recently when the head instructor and the other assistant instructors weren't around, and it went pretty well. It was fun too. So I could potentially record some of that if you're interested, and if everybody who's there is okay with being recorded. The biggest thing that I can improve, of course, is going to be moving out of this rental apartment into a house where there's some land available where I can set up permanently. And that, if in case you haven't heard that, we're planning a big move across the entire country from the west to the east coast of Canada to Nova Scotia. Even though we don't really want to leave the island, it's beautiful, we have a lot of friends here, and it's gonna suck to leave, but we have to, just because housing is not even close to affordable here. Basically, for what a 2-bedroom apartment costs here, you can get a like 3-4 bedroom house with 2 acres of land in Nova Scotia, and that would be the major game changer, because a lot of things I can't do here, or I at least can't do efficiently, because I have to drive out back and forth and all of that. There's a lot of extra time demands, there is limitations on what I can do in certain locations, and that's the other thing. If lately I seemed maybe a little too focused on ad revenue and Patreon and all of that, you know, money, that's the main reason I'm trying to save as much as possible, because this move is going to be pretty brutal, and the things that I want to invest into, like tools and a workshop so I can make some stuff myself, and test setups and all of this is going to be really pricey. So I have to just, you know, scrape as much together as humanly possible, because this is what I see is going to be the major way to push the channel forward to the next level. This is what I need to do. This is what everything is focused on right now. It's going to give me a lot more options, more inspiration and motivation and all of that, because I've done so many things already that I can do here with the limitations that I currently have. I want you to have a good time here. That's the point. It's not just about making revenue. It's about entertaining you and, you know, providing some information. This has always been, the focus has always for me been mostly on entertainment. Entertainment first and education second. It's important to get out information and educate people, but entertainment is like, I'm just naturally more of an entertainer than an educator. That's what I like to do primarily. So I want you to be entertained and enjoy yourself, and you can help me with that. Just let me know what you want, and if I can do it, I will make it happen. If I can't make it happen yet, I'll try to make changes to be able to make it happen. Back to the mundane desk setup. So when I was wondering if something shenanigansy might be going on with the YouTube algorithm, somebody actually called me arrogant for suspecting that it might be algorithm causing the low views rather than just shitty videos. From the point of view of a viewer, I can understand how that may come across as kind of arrogant perhaps, because if you don't know what's going on, if you don't see the analytics in front of you all the time, if you just hear that, it may just seem like, well, of course, if you get less views, it's because your videos suck. Of course, that's always the first question that you have to ask yourself as a content creator. If something doesn't go quite the way you would like, or if something changes for the worse, you always have to ask yourself first, is it me? Did I screw up? Do I need to improve something? What's going on? A lot of people say they want to see more weapons, more swords, more blades, etc. But that doesn't always work either. Like the recent review of the rapier by Windlass, for example, didn't get a whole lot of views. Most of the reviews, tests and reviews on my channel don't actually do all that well compared to more borderline clickbaity stuff and talking about video games and all of that fantasy stuff like that. The reviews got kind of mediocre. And tests can be pretty good, like the straight versus curved swords on ballistic gel that got over 77,000 views. The discussion of the results, on the other hand, only got 36,000, and this really seems to have been because of the timing, because I had some things come up and the schedule was messed up for the day, and I uploaded several hours later than I normally do, and was very noticeable. It just got, I think it got like, I don't know, a bit over 10,000 views on the first day, and that was clearly, that took a hit because of the timing. So things like that do matter. So sometimes I put up a video that I thought was pretty good and that I thought would get a lot of views, and that gets plenty of likes and almost no dislikes, but doesn't really do very well in terms of views, especially again considering the number of subscribers. And what do I do with that? When I post my weekly upload summary, and a lot of people say I didn't see any of these, or I saw 1 out of 4 videos pop up in my subscription. So there are definitely algorithm shenanigans. However, like I talked about before, this is definitely not just a YouTube issue, it's a me issue as well. And there's definitely plenty of room for improvement. Like this, for example, what I'm doing right now, this is very static. One perspective, blah, 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 blah. Not the most interesting, engaging kind of video. I mean, I could do constant jump cuts, switching perspective all the damn time, but that would just be kind of artificial dynamics and probably rather annoying. I've recently started reading more into cinematography, the different techniques. Right now I'm sticking to the rule of thirds, but I'm violating the headspace rule. I mean, playing a little bit with it. At least I'm giving myself too much headspace right now. It's better to position yourself more like this. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about cinematography too much. So I've started to mix things up a little bit and make things more artsy, I suppose, which I haven't gotten too much feedback on, but I would assume that overall it improves the quality of the videos. Like, for example, on the rant about GPS tracked knives in the UK, I did that quite a bit. But of course, that was a political video which a lot of people don't like, which I totally understand. Anyway, so long, rambly story short, I hear you. And I am trying to improve. I know that there is things to improve. I'm doing everything I can to get the big change going, to prepare for it. That should make the biggest difference I can possibly make on this channel. And yeah, all I can ask, bear with me, guys. Let me know if something doesn't work out, if there are things that you would like to see changed or improved. When you do, please be specific about particular things that you think I could improve and what way I could improve them. I want to make this, I want to please you. Never mind. I want this to be a good experience for you. I want this to be as good for you as it is for me. Oh, damn it! Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you next time. I'm probably blurry right now because I don't really trust the autofocus. Okay. I'll be out. Have a good one. You suckers.